Folks,
White Man Overbite Music going on a Loose Moose today. White Man Overbite Music.
it's old school week in terms of concerts in Toronto. It's Tears for Fears and Hall & Oates.
There's New Kids playing.
New Kids, Paula Abdul, Boyz II Men, and U2. Although U2 is still current.
Yeah, they did a little surprise against Jimmy Kimmel the other day, which was
Yeah.
actually kind of fun.
Well, they're always still pretty current. So anyway, but this is a baseball show, so
They all like baseball.
deadline looms,
The looming of the deadline.
and happy Pride, Toronto.
And that's not looming as in making fabric and like carpets
No.
and stuff. That's a different looming altogether.
No, the Major League Baseball trade deadline is July 31st,
Yes.
and the
First trade
Jays.
deadline.
Yes, the Jays are in an odd spot right now. Like we actually, this is why this is called the deadline looms, because we're playing Texas, which we have a minuscule amount of history with. You know, Kansas
be
City,
history there.
same thing. We got a little bit of history with Kansas City, but all three of these teams were 2 games under 500 or at 500. So teams that are playoff teams or World Series winners from within the last 2 years, that if they don't right the ship in about a month, they're going to be selling off a lot of people.
Yeah, see, that's kind of it's a weird balancing act. Like
Yeah.
people talk about Kansas City as being in the same position we are, Texas being in the same position
Well,
we are.
everyone's talking about Kansas City already starting to sell off and looking to sell off, whereas
They
they
have,
haven't
like-
mentioned that for the Jays yet.
Because Kansas City has all those UFAs.
Yeah.
The unrestricted free agents after this year, they the way they built themselves is that 8 of their players are going to be gone the end of the year. So,
Like Hosmer, Kane, Valquez,
Jason Vargas,
Vargas,
Moustakas.
Moustakas. Yeah.
yeah, there's a few of them going. So they've obviously got a plan in the head office of what they want to do. I'm sure it does coincide with maybe some of the players they've got coming up. You try and build it the way like Shapiro's trying to build it that way as well. So there's a consistency of people talented. I call it the Boston Red Sox thing.
Yeah.
The Red Sox are really, really good at doing that. If guy is done, a new guy pops up in the middle of nowhere, like Andrew Benintendi. Or Yon Moncada will be doing that probably next year. But Jackie Bradley Jr. did it. Xander Bogaerts did it.
Bogarts.
Yeah, that's kind of what Boston does.
Yeah.
So I call it the Boston syndrome.
Well,
This syndrome is they're a bunch of drunks. No, I'm just kidding about that. They're not really a bunch of drunks.
but also Boston has never ever wavered about willing to spend money as well.
They've got cash.
Yeah.
We have cash.
We
Not
just-
as much cash they have. But,
We don't
if
use
Rogers keep jacking prices up for all their stuff, they're going to have a lot more cash than we even realized.
Anywho,
And the other question is in the trade deadline, because it's been talked about, do you trade Josh Donaldson?
no,
Ooh.
no.
There's been people saying that you could get the most for him right now. You could, if you know you're not going to make the playoffs for the next couple of years, that you get all you can for him. But the argument against that is 2.5 million people are watching these Jays from the Sky Dome this year. If you get rid of Josh Donaldson,
Then
the
that
number will
goes down
drop
to
1.5.
1 now. Yeah.
Maybe 2.
Yeah.
But you're totally boned. So
No, I think he stays. I mean, we're not even gonna mention that yet. That's still a month away. We're not even gonna mention last week because last week was terrible. You go. Here's the best part. You actually go 2-3 last week and gain ground on the leaders because the Yankees went 1-6. The Yankees owned last week.
yeah, we also should note that we didn't realize that there were only 5 games.
Oh
last
yeah,
week.
it was a 2-game series against Tampa,
we
which
thought
is
it was
an
a
odd
3.
Yeah.
So what our predictions were? Our predictions sucked, and they
predictions were-
sucked even more
Yeah.
because they went 2-3.
They were wrong anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this week we're going back to a good little 7-game baseball every day. 4 games
Well,
against
that's what it is.
Texas.
You always get all these days off early, and then
Yeah.
you start getting plowing through like what they call the dog days of
Yeah.
summer. It's going to be crazy. We're playing before the All-Star break. We got Boston. We're playing Texas coming up.
Texas, Kansas City.
Kansas City, all these, and then when we come back from the All-Star break, Yankees, Boston, all kinds of teams that are really, really good. So we kind of screwed ourselves a little bit because we didn't do so well against these sub-500 teams like Chicago
Yeah.
or Oakland. So we had a chance to really get ourselves some ground. We reached the 1 game under 500 level so many times. We just can't.
Seven times. Seven
Can't
times
get it.
we've got 1 game under 500
get it.
and then lost 2 in a row.
Yes.
So my prediction this week, we'll save that for the end, but by the end of the week, Jays will be above 500.
These were nice.
Lies. So yesterday there was some fun stuff actually. Nolan Arenado of Colorado cycled, but did it in killer fashion because he needed the home run to do it, and got a walk-off home run for the cycle.
3-run home run.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know who he is, I don't know why you don't know who he is. I know he played in Colorado. I know it's a West Coast thing.
Yeah.
But Nolan Arenado should be transcending that, like Mike Trout has been transcending all that. I don't think people realize how good Arenado really is.
Yeah.
Like, he's got to be, in terms of third baseman, maybe the top third baseman in the National League for sure.
Yeah.
And he could be top 3 in Major League Baseball, if not at the top right now. But you never hear about him.
No. Well,
Not on the East Coast anyway.
yeah. I mean, Colorado's killing it right now, and it's due to the fact that guys like that are producing. But one thing that was actually kind of cool about that is yesterday was Father's Day, and Arenado hit a homer yesterday, but then also homered on Mother's Day this year. So there's been him plus 8 other players that have actually homered on Mother's Day and Father's Day
This year.
Some of them are our usual sort of suspects, like Paul Goldschmidt. Paul Goldschmidt's a stats machine.
Yeah.
So you expect that. Matt Holliday can crank him. Steven Souza, not necessarily, but I mean
Steven Souza Jr.
Yeah, you've got Yadier Molina, Manny Pena, Aaron Alter, and Pat Valaika as well. Like Pat Valaika.
Yeah. So we have a question. Who is Pat Valaika? If any of you know who Pat Valaika actually is, you can please let us know, because when we saw that, we both went, who the hell is Pat Valaika?
3 homers. He was 2 on Mother's Day and 1 yesterday. So,
I don't remember seeing him in any huge lists of people either.
I mean, like
Just one of those guys.
Ryan Goins has hit 4 home runs, so maybe he just sort of hits them on the right days, right? So
That's true. Yeah. Goins, he's actually hit. He's hitting 275 in the last few games. He's doing all right. But you know what's not been really good from Goins and Darwin Barney?
surprisingly, they're fielding.
defense.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like,
And
that's
that's-
why they're supposed to be here.
and that was usually their saving grace, was the
Yeah.
fact that nothing would happen to
They
them.
were the new John McDonald's.
Yeah.
Oh, and you see the Father's Day. If you don't remember, John McDonald hit a home run on Father's Day for his dad, who had passed away, I think, like either the day before or a couple of days before that.
Yeah. Was that 2004?
It was emotional. He cried. The people on the bench cried.
Yeah.
I welled up a little bit, and I don't cry, but it was a very emotional moment for him. So good on you, Johnny, for doing it. Too bad you ain't playing anymore. You might need to come back and coach to Jays for a little while and get them to field the ball properly again. If I see one more ball go through the middle, I'm going to lose my goddamn mind.
So hitting.
Not doing that either.
Chicago, let's go to the Cubs of it. They've decided to go with Anthony Rizzo as their leadoff hitter. And the experiment in 5 games so far has worked out pretty well. He's been batting .409 with 3 homers and 8 RBIs.
That would be like us putting Josh Donaldson in
Yeah.
the leadoff spot. If you're wondering in comparison.
And that's I mean, it's crazy. And then the fact is he's got 8 RBIs, meaning the first 5 of those at bats, like on 5 games, there's no one on base because he's the first guy up. So the fact that he's cracked 8 and 5, that's pretty phenomenal
Yeah,
as well.
that's
So-
Aaron Judge territory
Yeah.
right there.
So that's always something kind of cool. But speaking of Aaron Judge, All-Star game, the July 11th, Miami. Aaron Judge is leading in All-Star voting,
Can
obviously.
you imagine the home run derby in that little bandbox at a stadium right now?
It's insane.
I think the stadium only seats like 34,000 people.
It's a cool stadium though. Like
It's
I
a
said,
very
I-
Miami style.
oh,
stadium.
like don't take away the cocaine-infused decoration that hangs out in the middle of center field, but the actual design of the stadium, the architecture is actually really, really cool. But it is a homer dome, like it is most
a homer dome. Oh,
But
yeah.
but you've got Aaron Judge leading in All-Star voting, which is leading in every other freaking category.
OPS, leading in batting average, leading in home runs, leading in RBIs. He steals a few bases here and there.
Yeah.
His on-base percentage is still like .455. Like, that's Joey Votto territory right there.
Like Mike Trout is second in AL voting, and he's not even playing right now. He's going to be injured for a good time. Carlos Correa. If you want to know where the Jays stand right now, Donaldson and Tulo are fourth and fifth in the third base in the shortstop category, and Batista and Pilar 10th and 15th in outfield. So unless there's a huge push at the end, we're not going to get a fan vote in. We're going to have to be voted in. And the crazy part about that is that Justin Smoak is having a career year.
Justin Smoak will be our representative.
Is leading American first baseman in pretty much every stat. Is not even on the list.
The only other gentleman in our team that could possibly have made that, Kevin Pillar could have until he went in this ridiculous slump that he's always hitting 150 in his last 60 at bats.
Well, okay, random that this week is Pride. And he went into the tailspin after that whole little
tailspin, Pride. You know what we're talking about.
That whole little incident with the with the pitcher where he pretty much could have essentially just called him a shithead or whatever.
Schmuck.
Anything.
Duty head.
Yeah. Like piece of shit, whatever. Whatever.
Yeah, he is wrong.
But and he said he wants to be made an example of, and he meant it, but it has affected his average a little bit. He took a suspension and it's dropped.
Injuries have killed a lot of people for their chance to make the All-Star team. The only other person I can possibly see making the All-Star team from our team would be Roberto Osuna.
Yeah,
maybe Marcus Stroman, but he's definitely on the bubble right now. Like he's got the 7th best ERA in the league. Don't get me wrong, but he still gives up home runs. Yeah. He still gives up a lot of hits. So I don't see, especially in an all-star game scenario in that little stadium, I don't know if Marcus will get chosen for that. So we might literally have Justin Smoak as our only representative.
Justin Smoak, maybe, and maybe like a fan favorite just to see in the home run thing, Donaldson. But that'll be like that'll get thrown in. He's not going to get voted in. Yeah.
Donaldson want to go to the home run derby?
He missed a good month. So I mean, it might be practice.
It screws with their swing. They don't want to. They don't want to do that because it really fucks up the swing. He's a very timing-oriented kind of guy. I don't know. I don't know if I see him doing that. It'd be nice. I just don't see it.
But yeah, 2 Jays. But I mean, this week is going to be huge for the Jays' mindset going forward. B, determining for the general managers about what's going to be happening because it's 7 games against teams that are exactly even in the standings as us, and with identical records. So we got to go in. I mean, like it's even though it's this is going to be a make or break week.
Yeah,
and it's going to affect the rest of the year. There's still tons of time. Like I'm not writing them off, but in terms of what Shapiro and Atkins will be thinking when this week is done, if we don't go like 5-2, they're going to start looking.
Hoping Steve Pierce will pick it up a little bit. He got a few hits yesterday at RBI. Maybe he'll time up will do him some good because our Ezekiel's still got a broken bone in his foot, so that's not going to help us at all. And who else are we going to have to play left field? Pretty much nobody. So we might be if we do.
Dwight Smith.
Yeah, Dwight Smith, who's hitting 500. Good RBI, few strikeouts, and got 6 hits and 12 at bats. Isn't so bad for a guy coming in from AA. We knew Dwight Smith Jr. was a hitter, but maybe he's a better hitter than we thought. He's got 1 extra base hit, so he's slugging like 583. He's got on-base percentage over 500, so he's hitting 500. And he's got a walk on top of it, so he's reached base more than he's not reached base.
Yeah.
Small sample size, but if you're going to get a replacement left fielder to do something, that's pretty ideal.
Yeah.
Well, no, sorry, ideal is not the right word. It factors in. It works well for us, but it definitely is not the ideal situation. The Smith should still be doing another longer stint down the minors. Just he's a young kid.
He's 22.
Yeah.
He's fine.
He's got to do I think a little bit more, and then he'll be fine.
Yeah. In terms of like you just mentioned stats, some Jays team stats for the week ending last week. Our team ERA. It dropped, so it raised essentially 12 points. We're middle of the pack in terms of Major League Baseball. We're at 420 right now. The opponent's average went up as well, so we're 14th in the league. People are batting 251 against us, like they were batting 245 last week. Steals allowed, we're terrible. We're allowing the 3rd most steals in the entire Major League Baseball. We're not picking up. In terms of pickoffs, we've only had 1 pickoff, like a pitcher actually picked someone off, and that was actually Latos. That was Latos.
Yeah, and he ain't with the team anymore.
Yeah. I mean, but also in terms of that, Boston, New York, and Toronto, they've all only got one pickoff as well. So like, American League East teams are horrible against the steal.
Yeah.
Holds. This is a big stat that I like to look at because our bullpen has just been beaten up all year. We've only got 26 holds on the season. That means pitcher coming in a non-win or non-save scenario and not allowing a run, or holding it to the fact of this is we need a bullpen. We've known that for all season.
I think our bullpen's all right.
It's gotten better. It's gotten a little better, but it's still it's a work in progress.
You still got that grilly guy in there. You know, there's aprons and having his kids with
We're,
first pitch and all that kind of stuff.
We're hitting the ball, but we're still sort of below average. We're below medium in terms of our batting average. We're hitting 245, 291 runs, 200 extra base hits, and 95 homers. So that means essentially half of our extra base hits are home runs. We're not getting a set. We're not getting a double. We're not getting a triple. Like that should be more. That's how teams like Baltimore, even though they're knocking runs in. The Yankees are knocking runs in. Boston's knocking runs in because they can get a guy on second and hit a double. Guy on second, hit a double. No. Yeah. It's frustrating, but we live and die by the long ball. It's cool. I like it, but
I don't mind it. I like small ball too, though. I mean, not to put in Japan. I have a friend of mine who works for one of the Japanese baseball teams, and he was telling me in Japan, if the leadoff hitter gets on, bunt. Yeah. That's what they do. Bunt.
Bunt and fast. And
it's all manufacturing runs. And then you wait for the 3-run home run, which is great, but it doesn't always happen, especially depending on the pitcher you're getting. So you want to be able to bunt guys over. Like, the only guys who can technically bunt on our team right now are Ezekiel Carrera and maybe Goins.
Yeah.
Barney a little bit too. But other than that, like,
pretty much any time a pitcher goes up except for Stroman.
You know who had a really great bunt yesterday? Melky Cabrera. I don't know if you saw this one.
No.
Right at the first base line. Like, I've never seen a ball stick on the line the way this one did.
Well, the what led to essentially the tying home run by Russ Martin. Tulo got on base. A little dribbler hugged the line and actually popped up on third base. And Todd Frazier kind of booted it because he didn't know what to do with it because it just popped up. And Tulo actually floored it down the line. So I was like, a lot of people are saying Tulo isn't hitting, Tulo isn't fielding as well as he did. The effort's there. Like, he's got it. He's trying.
The thing is he going to be worth $20 million in 2020?
I like him.
He's an above-average shortstop still. He's a below-average hitter right now.
Yeah, that's going to turn around.
Most of the Jays have OPSs over 7. Tulo is not one of those people.
No.
His OPS is 640. His on-base percentage is barely above 300. His slugging percentage is just a tad. Where'd it go? It's pedestrian 339.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what's happened to the one that we used to play in Colorado, but he ain't here anymore.
But that's a thing too. Colorado, little higher altitude, balls go out a little further, right? So
yeah, but it still doesn't a little bit, but it still doesn't explain how much of a difference it really is in this. Like
could be.
It's the beginning of the end of Tulo.
Oh, but you look at Josh Donaldson's stats. Josh Donaldson can tag balls, but he played in a monstrous park, which was every year it's a new sponsor, right? Like what used to be the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum. Right now it's O.O.com.
I call it the Big U.
Yeah, I mean, like that's a massive ballpark, and he's hitting balls that would have been fly balls there that are going out in the dome. So I mean, his stats are going up. Like the ballpark and where you play does factor into this.
Yeah, absolutely it does.
Especially for a pitcher too. Like Farm Report. Report. Well, our farm is fairly depleted at the Buffalo level because they're all up here and getting injured as well.
And no one wants to sign with them either.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to sign with Buffalo. I wonder why.
I don't know.
Been to Buffalo? I have. I can understand why.
The trick of this is the Bisons are 34-34. A guy to watch for, and this is my guy to watch for, and it's kind of an odd one. We signed him in January on a minor league contract. I think he's a reclamation project. Lucas Harrell. He's 32. Pitched for Chicago, Houston, Texas, Atlanta. I mean, he's he's got major league stuff, but he's been a middling pitcher pretty much his whole career. But they've always used him as a starter.
Been around the block.
Been around the block. I think you bring this guy up, use him an inning or two. You've got nothing to lose at this point in time right now. And I mean, he's 32 and he's in Buffalo. Why not? Why not give him a shot? Because they haven't pulled him up yet so far.
I think they want to see how Dwight Smith handled it.
Yeah.
I think and they handled it well. I think he's just there to fill a position. I don't think they have any intention of calling him up unless he kills the ball.
I
just think he's there as
my bet. This is my bet, and it's you can take that with whatever. I'm hoping to see this guy up just once or twice, just to pitch in the bigs again.
He'll get called up. He'll get called up in September.
In terms of the Fisher Cats, they're going at 29-39 right now. The one to sort of watch there is the plethora of catchers that we have. Danny Jansen hitting .325, 2 homers, 9 RBIs, but he's actually just only been starting just recently, so it's a small sample size, but he's still got above 300 average. Dunedin, this is where we have the family pack.
Yes.
Dunedin, that's the start of the family pack, I should say. We've got Kevin Biggio, Craig's kid, 252 average, 4 homers, 28 RBIs, 6 stolen bases.
He's leading his league in OPS and batting average, and
that's Bo. That's Bo.
Oh, sorry,
that's Bo. We're getting down to Lansing. Bo Bichette and Vladdy Guerrero. Bo Bichette is 396, 7 homers, 45 RBIs, 9 stolen bases. Vladdy Jr. 321, 4 homers, 39 RBIs, and 6. And these guys are definitely the real deal.
Yeah. They're the ones that. These are the guys we're going to be counting on to come up. These are the guys that might be a trade chip. I would not trade Bo Bichette. They are now officially listing him as a second baseman shortstop.
Yeah.
Because he will be taking over for Tulowitzki.
We've got one more.
Devin Travis
go ahead.
I was going to say, unless Devin Travis is done.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If Devin Travis is done, there's a very distinct possibility he is, because he's now got the bone bruise in his knee.
Yeah.
Not the same knee. It's the same injury as the other knee. Which means he's going to be gone for a while.
Yeah.
So now you ask the question: is he durable enough to stay on this team?
Yeah.
He can hit. We all know he can hit. He hit the shit out of the ball in May, but if you can't stay on the field, it's no good.
Yeah.
So you might start seeing Bo Bichette, instead of being a shortstop, might start going towards second base more, whichever one is the more of a direct line. I mean, he's still only 19 years old. But the way he's hitting, that kid's going to be at 21.
Yeah. We've got one more season of Travis. That's it. If he gets injured again, they got to cut him loose, and it sucks too, because I like the kid. He tries hard, but if you're not going to be able to stay there.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
From the draft last week, we have another addition to the family pack that's going to come in. Roger Clemens' kid.
Casey Clemens? Yeah.
Casey Clemens.
All of his kids' names, by the way, we don't know. He's got 5 kids. I think they're all boys too.
Yeah.
All their names begin with a K, and I'll give you one guess to why.
Strikes.
Strike out.
Yeah. So he's going to be added to the family pack as well. But yeah, this is our minor league system from Lansing and Dunedin looks good. Looks very, very good. The Fisher Cats and Buffalo, everyone's 28 to 31 years old.
Yeah.
So we've got to give some of those guys just one little sniff for the last little bit and see what happens to them, because if not, they're just sort of there to...
We just needed the backups in case our starters went down. We had those guys for a while, and thank you, Mr. Bolsinger, and thank you, Mr. Latos. We don't need you anymore.
Yeah.
I'd rather take one of the kids and throw him in there and see how the kid can do.
I've got no problem with him signing Latos to the minor league contract that they did at the beginning of the year, because if he could have refreshed his career like he did in 2010, when he was pitching with the Reds, that would have been fine. But
yeah, the old Matt Latos would have been fantastic. But he's nowhere near the man that he was.
Yeah.
I don't know why, because he still has the velocity.
Yeah. But the velocity just going straight down the middle.
Yeah, and that's he has no movement on his pitches.
No spin, nothing.
Yeah. So I don't know whether his secondary pitches are things that he can't deal with anymore, but I've never seen a guy fall off a cliff like that. He was really, really, really good, and also he was fucking horrible.
Yeah.
And we've got him on the tail end of horrible. We've got him at the boom.
And that's also a confidence thing too. You saw that with Ricky Romero. He went in from 1 year being our ace and our opening day starter to not being able to get someone out.
And now being in the Mexican League.
Yeah. And
go watch Luchador Wrestling when he's done.
Biagini had that the other day. He
did
did not feel good. He said his mind wasn't in it.
He had the yips. while he was doing his warm-up pitches to Russ Martin before the game started. 6 of them hit the dirt.
Yeah.
At one point, Russ Martin popped up and just kind of looked at him, and Biagini got to look back at him like, and then he went out and screwed the pooch. He was horrible. Inning, 6 earned runs, couple walks, no strikeouts. He even admitted he just didn't have it. He said he felt like he did when he was trying to repeat his delivery when lower levels of the Giants system, when he was in the Giants system.
Yeah.
But he couldn't repeat his delivery. He couldn't find the delivery point, and then he just kept trying to fix it as he was going. And you know what happens when you try and do that? It just gets worse. And it got worse. So he's had a couple bad games, but that's okay because Estrada's had some bad games. Happ's had some bad games. Liriano's had some bad games. We've had guys who had bad games.
Yeah.
It's time for them to have a lot more good games. We're going to balance it out and say we're actually going to be a contender. Well, they better start pitching really well.
But I see that riding the ship this week. We've got game 1 tonight against Texas, in Texas. Estrada versus Austin Beebens Dirks. And Dirks spells his name Dirkx.
Austin Beebens Dirks.
That guy's spent 11 years in the minors. He's coming up here. This is his debut year. He's a fill-in pitcher. We should be able to hit him.
No. That's the one thing that this team has never been able to do in the league for years now is hit a guy who's fresh or who's just been brought up. They get fooled by them every single time. I don't know what it is. We've got a curse on us when it comes to those kind of guys. But maybe we'll break the curse. It's quite possible. Texas is another bandbox stadium that we can hit a lot of runs in.
The prognosis is we should hit off. Game 2, Liriano versus Nick Martinez. He's a strikeout pitcher. Good fastball, good spin rate. It's a lot of pops and a lot of strikes. Biagini's going game 3 against Tyson Ross. Tyson Ross has been on the DL for a year and a half.
Yeah.
This is only his second game back, and his first game back is actually pretty good. So, big test for Biagini if he can get his head back in the game, because that's probably going to be one of the better pitchers we're facing against Texas, because Stroman is going against Martin Perez in game 4. We're getting lucky because we're missing out Yu Darvish, which Yu Darvish is a Jay killer. Which
also Marcus Stroman has been lucky up because last game he gave 3 home runs. They're all solo shots.
Yeah.
Marcus seems to limit the damage when it comes to the hits he gives up. Thing is, he's still giving up a lot of hits.
Yeah.
So we got to watch him for that last game. He's just one of those guys he could be like a Jack Morris type. He's just going to give up the hits, but he keeps his team in the game every time he pitches because he only gave up 3 runs in 7 innings, which is a quote-unquote quality start. So he has had his quality starts. He has the 7th best ERA in the league. He's doing what he needs to do. He just needs to bring that batting average down a bit because if they keep hitting him the way they're hitting him, it's going to catch up to him eventually.
Yeah.
So we don't want it to catch up. Nothing. Just
It stands.
Cool, man.
It stands to be a good week because we're 11-6 against the American League West. We're 3-3 against the Central.
Yep.
As we said before, Texas is 2 games below 500.
Yeah.
Sorry, Texas is 500, and Kansas City is 2 games below 500. So this is a big week for us.
And
7
Kansas
games. What do you think?
4-3.
4-3.
Yeah.
I'm going hardcore. 5-2. 5-2. We're gonna win each series.
Yeah, it's possible. It can be done.
I'm still an optimist.
We seem to be playing to the level of team right now. I want like Kansas City's kind of been bad. Texas was really good for a while. They were shitty. Then they were really good, and then they were shitty again. And I don't know which one we're gonna see. Adrian Beltre is back for them as well, who is their inspirational leader, future Hall of Famer. Napoli's back, so it's going to be tough to get through them. And we need our starters to start going long because our bullpen is from the most pitches of any American League bullpen. Yeah. We need starters to go through what they got to do. So do it, damn it. 4-2. Oh, sorry, 4-3.
4-3. All right, so 5-2, 4-3. Good week to be a Jays fan, guys. Watch baseball. Next week we're not here because the Loose Moose, which is a lovely facility that takes care of us and puts up with us, they've got something big going on. So we're not here next week.
We're not big enough for that. So
we're here the week after. Kids, later.
Have fun. See you. Bye.